Right. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the Idiot Jester. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you, how you are, whatever you're up to, whatever you're doing, have a fantastic time. That's all I can say. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. As most of you will already know, there's this AGP dressed in a uniform, sat far too high in the American government, LARPing as a woman, called Levine, right? Admiral Levine. He, because that's what he is responsible for some terrible things that have happened in America in regards to spreading the trans cult, and I'm sure that you, as my viewers, will be more than aware of who he is. Now, there is currently going on a court case in America, which is in reference to this whole thing and damage caused and all that type of stuff. And a recent application was made to the court to subpoena. I think subpoena is the word. If it's not the word, somebody tell me that subpoena is not the word. Okay, so subpoena to ask for, demand, that type of thing. Any emails relating to this that were sent by Admiral Bloody Levine, this LARPing bloke in America, right? He's Assistant Secretary for Health, Rachel Levine. Yeah, off you go, Doc. You LARPing bloke. So I thought it was worth revisiting something that happened in February this year, just to get us back on the ball in case things become apparent that this is going to make a difference. Now, you have to understand that that's a major win in America, first of all, right? So Levine's going to have to cough up his emails for anything to do with this trans nonsense. And I think they are going to be very interesting indeed when the court gets them. How the government will squirm out of that, I don't know, but it's been affirmed by the court that they've got to give them. So let's just hope that what happens is that it reveals more of what you're about to hear. Now, I make no apologies for repeating myself on this one. I'm sure I've done a video on it before, but I think it's worth having some background in case this does become something bigger that'll be worth us paying attention to. So this takes us back to February the 17th of 2023. Which doesn't actually seem that long ago these days. The time goes past so quickly, doesn't it, when we're involved in this. Assistant Secretary for Health, Rachel Levine, and this is in the Daily Caller, discussed revenue opportunities resulting from hiring a gender clinic social worker while Levine was serving as Pennsylvania's acting Secretary of Health, according to emails obtained by parental rights activist Megan Brock and reviewed by the Daily Caller News Foundation. Now, that's when he was serving as the Pennsylvania's acting Secretary for Health in Pennsylvania. They don't change, do they? You know this, and I know that. So it's unlikely that his opinion and his belief system has changed since then, but he's got far more power now. So it's going to be very interesting to see if these emails come forward, exactly what it is that he's been saying. The pair discussed the potential. This is what happened, right? Rachel Levine. The pair discussed the potential return on investment and downstream revenue generated by social workers at gender clinics, particularly through surgical referrals. And then there's a quote. I am trying to give them some numbers to help them realise the eventual ROI. ROI stands for return on investment. For this necessary position, the doctor wrote. Even if the patients under 18 who go for surgery might be limited. The patients we start with will eventually be over 18. So I still think it's worthwhile. Of course, I think it's worthwhile no matter what. That's Admiral LARPer Levine in America discussing the benefits of surgically damaging children who have been sold a belief system. It's a cult. We've got a cultist that far up in the government in America. Only the Democrats, eh? Rachel Levine, who is now Assistant Secretary for Health in the Biden administration, discussed the potential revenue that could be generated by a gender clinic social worker who could advocate for child sex change procedures in emails reviewed by the Daily Caller. Dr. Roland Ornstein, a pediatrician at Penn State Hershey Children's Hospital, believed a social worker for the hospital's gender clinic would generate enough revenue to make funding the position worthwhile, noting that even with age restrictions for sex change surgeries, child patients would eventually turn 18 and be eligible for further intervention. So that was actually the Penn State doctor, the paediatrician Roland Ornstein, who has said what I said earlier, not Levine. My apologies for that. This is unbelievable. Now, according to emails from 2018 between Roland and Levine, Megan Brock got hold of them. Social workers at paediatric gender clinics can work as surgery advocates, gathering recommendations, letters of recommendations on behalf of minors seeking sex change procedures that insurance companies are otherwise hesitant to cover. According to a 2021 report from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, CHOP, can you believe it? The Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, brackets, CHOP. It's like a dystopian novel. And the National Association of Social Workers. Levine recommended a contact for Ornstein to reach out to and said that while surgical referrals might be limited to only mastectomies for minors, the position would still pay for itself. As I'm trying to convince the administration about the need for a Masters in Social Work position specific for the imminent gender clinic, I am trying to put together a presentation re potential revenue, including downstream, Ornstein wrote. The info from the 2015 report is great, but I believe insurance has changed since then, with more coverage for surgery than previously. Levine, who at the time was Pennsylvania's acting Secretary of Health, was confident that this hospital would be able to fund a social worker in this position, but noted that age restrictions for gender surgeries meant the social worker's consultation for minors would be limited to female-to-male top surgeries. That's a euphemism for mastectomies. Mastectomies are more commonly performed on minors than other gender-related procedures. They're taking off the budding breasts of children. Sick. You should be able to fund an MSW, a social worker there, for evaluation and therapy for paediatric and adolescent patients in a program such as you do for the ED program and is done at CHOP, Levine wrote. Pre-surgical consult for patients under 18 will most likely be limited to female-to-male top surgery, and that might be a rather limited group of patients. Ornstein noted that even if children were limited in which gender transition surgeries they could get as minors, those children would eventually turn 18, making the social workers' efforts more financially rewarding. Ghouls. I'm trying to give them some numbers to help them realise the ROI. Social workers are responsible for advocating for transgender people in a variety of ways, including pressuring insurance companies to cover cross-sex medical interventions, including surgeries, according to the National Association of Social Workers. Financial motives appear to play a major role in advocacy for cross-sex hormonal procedures. Johns Hopkins Medicine is lobbying Maryland to extend Medicaid coverage to transgender cosmetic procedures it offers, which would financially benefit the university hospital system. A professional association of plastic surgeons has been fighting against state attempts to restrict child sex changes and pushing for enhanced insurance coverage for transgender procedures since at least 2017. Levine also worked with LGBT activists to block legislation that would have barred state funding from paying for child sex changes. It's beyond ghoulish. It's beyond ghoulish. I don't know what to say to you, but that's where we're at. Right, that was February. Let's see what happens now when we get new emails relieved. I want these people in jail. I think any right-minded person would want them in jail. I've got nothing to cheer you after that. Sorry, folks. All right? And I'll see you later. Go have a good day.